great muscle control, by the way, Topher. I know you're on wires, but to sell that wall.
I think I had Scott holding my legs.
I was holding
I was
it up?
doing it. He was digitally erased, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And I was on wires.
I remember every take, too, by the time you were crawling along the wall and as you approached and you got at your closest point to me, you were completely out of breath every take.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
And I was
I
marveling.
get a lot of respect for Tobey doing that, yeah.
But I was marveling at, all of the stunt work, even at times it seems insignificant little moves. On those wires and in those harnesses, I really had a newfound appreciation for what Tobey does and the stunt guys and what Alfred Molina did in the second picture. And it's just, those stunt harnesses are remarkably uncomfortable.
Yeah, you know, Tobey, what you should really hate is that a lot of people assume because there is CGI in the film, and Sam, you should all say this too, because I know you like doing so much of it in camera, which I respect so much, because a lot of it you could just wave kind of the magic wand of digital whatever and say, you know, I mean, it could look not as good, basically, but kind of real. But I love that you do as much of it as you can without special effects. It helps the actors. But I think both you guys, I don't think people know how much of this stuff, Tobey, like you did. You know, like I remember watching you for hours, you know, being whipped around by wires. I think people think, oh, that must be the CGI version of him.
Yeah, you end up doing a lot of stuff, and I always want to give credit everywhere else because I get so much of the credit as it is, and there's so many people that work so hard on it to make it amazing that I'm constantly out there, you know, talking about everybody else's work because it is such a collaborative effort to make a movie. And there, for as much work as I'm doing, you know, I don't know how many stunt doubles I have. I've had through the various films because we've had specialty guys come in for one shot. So there's probably been a good 5 or 6 Spideys throughout the years who've done such great work. They get it much worse than I do, so I always feel like, you know, I can't complain or I'm a super wimp.
Well, in that armored car sequence, that a guy that literally was a one-armed boxing champion who punched, to get the shot, he punched into my body with where he doesn't have an arm, which I thought was
that's crazy.
A unique choice.
This final battle that Spider-Man's going off to in a moment was so complicated with so many sets and this 3-story structure that had to double like the 70th floor of the skyscraper and down below shooting in New York. It really was a testament to the great organizational skills of Eric Heffron, Michael Moore, my first AD, and the key second assistant director, Michael Moore. And then great organization by Joe Caracciolo, who's the executive producer on the picture, but really is the nuts and bolts man, along with Grant Curtis, to make it run. But Joe did a great job, along with his right-hand man, our production manager, Dennis Stewart. They really pulled together excellent organization to pull off all these illusions and all these units that were so complicated to conduct. And then we were shooting this final sequence 24 hours a day, 5 different stages.
So now we're at the end, and I'm in peril. This is weeks and weeks, basically, on an LA soundstage. And this wasn't actually supposed to be me. This was supposed to be Bryce. And then they changed it and made MJ in peril. But it was really supposed to be Bryce who was supposed to be in peril at the end. And Sam made a phone call to me. If she's not in peril, you know, we have to have that, and blah, blah, blah. So I was supposed to get off scot-free during this entire film without one scene of being in peril, but that changed.
Sam, I just love the idea that you and Alvin and Ivan sat around like, you know, maybe we should throw a dump truck at her.
Thomas, did you do your own grunts?
I did.
That's him, yeah. They're slowed down and treated by Paul, our sound supervisor.
Ottoson.
That's right.
They combined them with grinding rock special audio effects. I think, Sam, aren't there also mixed in some animal exhortations of some sort?
We finally, I think, I'm not certain, that we ended up with no animal elements, just your human element and about 20 other organic elements that Paul recorded himself and mixed in with that your human sound.
She's a good little actress.
I'm very proud of her.
Hey.
Films extra.
I was so glad that it was Mary Jane who was in peril because, I mean, that's what's brought them together and their friendship especially and their mutual love of her, and I just thought that was so important.
It was out of a desire. This is what I was starting. You're referring to what I was referencing earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It was out of a desire to listen to Kirsten and not repeat ourselves. But it was a new thing, in fact, that the two fellas were going to be working together.
Mm-hmm.
These rivals in love were going to work together to save the one they both loved.
This makeup was so awful.
To wear.
Yeah, it's 4 hours every day. That's a fake eyebrow. And, you know, all those pieces to glue them on. It's funny because they just look like little things you tack on, but then they got to paint all around every vine. And it's attached to the suit, so I had to do all, you know, it's like a while to put on the suit, and then makeup's 4 hours. I'd come in at like 4 in the morning. It was crazy.
It was really effective. Did Vivian Baker do it?
No, it was, Vivian did my makeup normally when I was Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
It was Doug No, and of course Shoni Smith had a lot to do with it. And I couldn't even read anything. I just had to stare straight ahead because if my face was up or down, it would affect how those vines kind of where they attached. And then the thing that they put in the fangs, and that was the thing that would just send me over the top.
Oh, God.
But I guess it was good for the acting.
Okay, I forgive you for the betrayals earlier. You took a mortal wound for me. All is forgiven.
I actually don't think it pierced any vital organs, and Harry actually is not dead.
Ah, are you just saying this to not ruin it for the viewer, or to campaign for a fourth movie?
Yeah, I also think it's questionable whether or not
casket.
Venom ate it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, did he really die? I mean, what is death, really? You know?
Gwen Stacy's surely alive.
Yeah, that's true.
Good point.
I love that Peter decides to save Eddie Brock from his own malevolent, maniacal manifestation. I love that moment that he saves his life. And then Eddie commits suicide.
I will say he was a little slow in getting to him. It was like Eddie was in there getting wrapped up, and a beat later he's like, "Eddie!" Oh,
You wanted to let you wanted to let the mother alien toy with him just a little longer.
That's funny you say suicide, because I'd love to hear what you think, Sam, but I actually didn't think it was a suicide. I thought it was just, I always saw the suit as being like, you know, cocaine or alcohol or anything that's addictive that makes your demons come out, makes you feel more powerful when you're on it, but then you're very regretful for what you did afterwards. There's an awareness that he's throwing a bomb into it, but I always saw it as like he wasn't even thinking about committing suicide. He just was trying to get some more of that stuff before it was gone. But what do you think, Sam?
I think that's right, and then I'd add to it, if he was aware of someone in danger, my baby, like he wants the thing that's most valuable and important to him, to his being. It's that stuff, I've got to have it. Don't hurt it. A desire to be with it.
You had a choice. Now, I think to what you were saying earlier, Sam, about the difficulty about sort of the plot change and how that was going to affect me or my character or my performance. Part of that was because some of the conclusions weren't, we knew where we were going, but it was going to affect everything, and we kind of didn't know exactly what the end of the movie was. So I didn't quite know where I was going with the character. I mean, I knew about and roughly, but you know, with all of these scenes, we had work to do to polish them or flesh them out, and this is one of those scenes, I think, that ended up being great, but we had to give a lot of attention to.
Yes, Hugh, Alvin Sargent, Thomas really worked on this scene to make it work. I mean, you really hammered on it. We rehearsed again and again. We had script sessions with Alvin. Ivan was there sometimes. And we just kept working the material, trying to find what was true about it, what they'd really say, really feel, what conclusions they'd really come to. I really think the character has grown quite a bit here. And I think it's a good message for kids to go see when they see the picture, that it's one where the main character is most important thing that he learns is the value of forgiveness. And especially when it's a superhero picture, made for kids. I think it's a positive thing if you're a parent bringing your kids to the picture to have this contained within it, this journey. I really feel the secret of forgiveness within your performance, Tobey, that the real gift of forgiveness is in those that forgive. They're released from bondage of hatred. I see it in this close-up, in the last close-up, and in this next close-up. I see Thomas has been released, obviously. This was Thomas's idea, by the way.
Yeah, great idea, too.
But here I feel it. All flowing out of you. When Thomas came up with that ending, he said, Sam, maybe I would just, once I'm forgiven, I'm released, and the visual is me just blowing away, and it's a cloud of sand. And that was so right on.
Sad scene. A lot of people hate you now, Sam, for killing me.
They do?
That's what I'm told.
Is one of those people's names James Franco?
All of my family.
Right.
Sorry. But you went out as a hero.
Yeah, you really did.
I'm in firm support that Eddie should have died, and I think that Eddie's and look, it's not good for business for the Grace clan, but I think that I always thought that my definition of Eddie was the opposite of what Tobey had done in the first two movies. But they're in the same place, they have the same job, and they're kind of after the same girls, and Eddie on the outside has kind of the leg up. He's got a stronger exterior. And I know this from living in Hollywood. People that have strong exteriors are masking weak interiors. So I thought everything that I did in a way was a compliment to the character of Peter. And I feel like that's why he should have gotten punished. Whereas Peter, when he received the same gift, and because he had a strong interior, could kind of battle it, Eddie had to succumb to it and also had done some really awful things.
I felt like Kirsten looks so vulnerable in this scene.
When I went out with you guys through these movies, foreign, it's the opposite effect on me what I thought it would be. You'd think it would be ego boosting, but it has just the opposite effect. It's very humbling to go out there. All these people are cheering on Spider-Man and the coming of the movie, and what it really means is they recognize that a story recognizes the goodness potential within all of us. That's what these Spider-Man stories are. Peter Parker is a kid who's coming of age and recognizing he's capable of greatness and good deeds and the beauty of responsibility and the beauty of love. And that's what these people know to be true, that love is beautiful, that they're all capable of being heroic. And the movies just tell these familiar stories with a very familiar character, Spider-Man. And I've come to realize that's what all the hoopla is really about, is people celebrating the recognition of storytellers, actors, writers, telling that story that they know to be true and that they love about themselves.
The final scene of the jazz club here, where I'm going to go see Kirsten, and I remember feeling like really kind of emotional about it, because I felt like, the end of the movie and the end of the three movies, and so it felt like a kind of a finality to it. And I felt really emotional. It made me reflect, and I carried that. It made me reflect on how much, these movies have given to me, meant to me, the relationships, the working relationships, the reaction from the fans, and I agree, Sam. I mean, it was humbling, to be a part of that, because you realize we're giving it all we got, but we're playing, we're having fun and doing this, and it becomes something bigger than that. And it's kind of great to be a part of that. And, and I carried that with me when I was out there doing the press, because I was so grateful, and I just felt like we are so fortunate. So I was really excited to be a part of it and to present it to whoever it was. And I know at the end of this press tour, we were all kind of sitting around going, okay, where else can we go? What else can we do? We want to go bring this to more people and keep on living this experience.
So working on the third movie it's kind of like coming home to a family, because we all know each other so well. So it's really the most comfortable I think we've all been with each other, and the most collaborative we've been as a team together, because we know each other so well, and we've kind of grown up together in a way. And so I think it's reflective also in these images. You realize how long we've actually known each other. You know, I really feel like I've grown up with these people.
I was disappointed because I couldn't go and travel with everyone because I had just given birth.
Yes, for a very good reason.
Yeah. But I was up in my room with my baby and just very, very young, and I would check on the internet and kind of see where everyone was, how everyone was doing, and everyone just looked, of course, like they were doing a lot, but I could tell that there was that gratitude there for the appreciation that the world was really showing them.
Well, I wanted the whole thing. I grew up watching Star Wars and playing with Star Wars action figures, and like I said, I was a huge fan of the Spider-Man comic book. So coming in this late in the trilogy, you kind of know the ride that you're in for. It totally surpassed what I could have expected. I think I went to 10 different countries or 11 different countries, and to see that it's not a national hero, Spider-Man. He's like a global hero. See that kind of fan reaction and see action figures, and you don't usually have that tactile reaction from fans about your work, and to be able to meet them. So the whole thing was totally lived beyond my expectations. I had a lot of fun with all you guys, so thank you for that. And my rap album drops in early 2008.
Well, I just had a great time making these movies with all the people that's worked on them, and I really feel like it's given me so much, and we've got a little family unit working together to make these films, and I feel like they were our films for many years, and now they're yours. So thank you.
All right.
Bye.